Barbershop Podcast episode. What are we looking at, Ryan Cannon? We looking at Hard Time?
I think we're at Hard Time. We're looking at Hard Time. 25 to life.
25 to life here at Barbershop Podcast. If you're in for a dime, you're in for a dollar.
I think it's 84.
84.
Pretty sure it's 84.
84, getting up there. That's like Betty White numbers.
Yeah.
Hardcore here at Barbershop Podcast. From Hamilton, Ontario, the blast furnace of original music, the very best anywhere, certainly around here. And we get them every Wednesday at Barbershop Podcast. Very best in Hamilton music and musicians. And welcome to the show, Ryan Cannon. Did you have a good week?
I had a wonderful week.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful week of working and housework and other fun stuff.
And getting ready to get ready.
Yeah.
To bring the very best to the show.
Yeah. I'm always getting prepared.
Well, we're working on a lot of stuff here constantly at Boxo Studio.
We got
A lot of stuff going on. We're going to let you in some of that.
The 100th episode.
Yeah, the Century Show, the Century Club. We're going to have quite a. Yeah, we used to get drunk a lot when we started doing this show.
A lot of it's secrets.
Yeah, a lot of secrets, secrets and lies. Right, Barbershop Podcast, but enough of that. We got music and we got stories. And what's better? What's life about if you didn't come home with a few stories and a few tunes? It wasn't a great night. Certainly not a good life. But you tune into Barbershop Podcast. We're going to help you out. And right now, I want to introduce you to three guys that I met a couple of years ago. I was booking a club in Hamilton, and they came in and they kind of blew my socks off. I like their attitudes. I like how they played. I like what they played, and I've been looking forward to having them on the show for a while. I think they really epitomize, hard-working original band, and they're going to tell you their stories and how they come up in music and how music's done them right and how music's done them wrong. This is the way we like it here at Barbershop Podcast. We've got Flamingo Bay in the studio, and we're going to start with Dylan Henningsen, the sweet guy in the red hat. Chris Keys, who's looking mighty fine.
What's happening?
And Vince Rankin, also in the studio. These guys comprise Flamingo Bay. How are you doing, guys?
Very good.
We put a big audience clapper when you introduce us.
We do that.
Track.
Yeah, no, it was deafening. Like you can't hear it because you don't have the headphones
Right
on. And Ryan didn't put any effects on it.
Cool.
We couldn't even squash it. But it's part of the love and lure and being in music, right? I ask everyone how they did it, and a lot of times if people just start thinking for the first time, it's like, hey, why did I get into this?
Yeah.
What the fuck am I thinking?
Yeah.
Some people come by it honestly. Some people come, by hook or crook. And so I'm going to start with you, Dylan. What was music in your life early on?
Tom Petty, pretty much.
So that you heard the first album, Damn the Torpedoes, and
Damn the Torpedoes. Yeah, that was like that album cover was like I
Pretty
just remember
wicked.
that around the house kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was dope.
I remember I was getting drunk when that came out. I was 15, and that was when I discovered hard liquor.
Fucking right.
Stealing a little hard liquor, and that album came out, and it's always be associated with the magic first drunk on hard liquor. And it's a great album, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was awesome.
And there's a story about a guy come from the swamps in Florida, and no one gave him much of a chance, and he was, and now he's revered, but at the time he really was coming up against it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the shit. Love him.
Love him. How about you, Chris? Were you always like crazy about music?
Pretty much, as far as I can remember. I like the Beatles, like from day one, obviously, and I used to love Yellow Submarine, the movie. And I've watched it as an adult, and I find it weird that I liked it so much as a 6-year-old. It kind of makes me wonder what I was all about back then. But so it was Beatles from day one, and there was always tunes around the house my folks would listen to, whatever. Some country, some jazz, So I made my way through, and I listen to everything still. So
your parents music was part of the scene.
Oh yeah,
house. So
it was around.
always
It was
good.
on in the house all the
Yeah,
time.
and it got to the point where were you listening to LPs and tapes and 8-tracks?
I
all the way
kind
on?
of came up in the tapes, man, cassette tapes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I had a nice stack of tapes there for a bit,
yeah.
and then in the CDs when I was a teenager, maybe even a little before.
Just
I don't know.
started making some money so they could take it away from you.
I know.
Again, then you had that both for a long while, right? You couldn't go anywhere.
That
with
was
both.
awesome.
It
Nothing beats a Walkman though; just fit perfectly right in your.
It's true. It's true for the younger viewers.
It didn't skip.
Walk around, it was.
Discmans were the best.
If you had a good anti-shock on it though.
If you could choose, I like tapes because you got to sit through it and just go. mind you, if you do develop the skill to find a song,
Then it was a skill.
yeah, boom, there
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, no, but CDs were the best, I think.
Yeah, when that came. How about you, Vince? Did you just decide early on you're like going to be a musician, or what was the transition between liking music and playing music?
Yeah, my godfather was a drummer, and I think he got me a drum kit pretty early on. I was always banging on pots and pans and stuff, and yeah, he got me a drum kit early on, and there was music around the house. Like I remember like Zeppelin and maybe Fleetwood Mac and stuff like that, and just stuff my older cousins were listening to too, right? Whether it was hip hop or rock and roll, I just kind of took what they were listening to and ran with it, and then just always loved.
Yeah, it's weird, you can't even control it. It's like whatever, you're just a kid, whatever's around you.
Yeah,
so,
it's true. It's true, and I, to this day I love a good hook. And I was thinking all of the AM radio that I was listening, because my mom would be listening to Top 40 or whatever, and there's a lot of those hooks that could stick in your head, like very early on.
Yeah, for sure.
And having music in the house, I think's important. Playing it's good
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So talk about playing it when you first started playing. What was your first band? What was your first gig?
It was like late. It was like 17, and actually Chris had taken a guitar lesson when you were 12 or something.
I took a few when I was really young, and then I
Yeah.
learned a couple Nirvana songs when I was like 12, and then chilled out for a bit, got into hip hop, and I'll let him finish his story.
Yeah, we gotta get it. We went to a house party, and this guy, we're sitting there, and Chris is playing
Santa Monica.
and I'm singing it, and I don't know how to play, and Chris is like barely getting by, and this other guy comes into the room and grabs, like we set it down or whatever, and the party goes on, and this other guy comes in the room and gets up and just starts ripping, and everybody loved him, and we're just like, I can't believe we just did that. Like that's embarrassing. we were watching the guy, and we're like, 5 minutes ago I was singing in this room, and this guy's killing it or whatever.
Yeah,
We stole a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch from that party, though.
damn right.
And a Boston Bruins jersey. And so he knew how to read guitar tab.
Yeah.
So he showed me how to read guitar tab, and then we just got like addicted all of a sudden. Like it was like just read it on paper.
It's the coolest thing.
It's the coolest shit, man. If you want to learn guitar,
Ryan and I were in a band,
it's
together,
so
and it was
easy.
like we would learn a bunch of, and we wouldn't listen to the actual recording. We just went from memory and grabbed the tab and went, and then played it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, and it was so weird because you're looking at a number and then you hit them, and then it's like, wow, I
That's
heard
the
that
song.
song for my entire life. Like it like tripped me out. So we just started going hard, and then we actually got in two different bands. Our first, so we learned together, but our first bands were different bands. And then I was actually playing bass. So we got into music together, but we got into bands separate, and then eventually joined up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Vince? When were you sucked into this tornado of talent?
With these guys?
Yeah.
These guys?
With
Sucker.
these guys?
How to get sucked in?
Yeah.
I read an ad on Kijiji. I'm always going on him, or I was always going on him. I was playing in a band at the time, but it wasn't really my thing or whatever, and saw an ad. I think it was hard-hitting rock and roll drummer. Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Hard-hitting rock and roll drummer, and I was like, fuck, all right.
Yeah.
I can hit him hard. I can't really play them that good, but I can hit them hard,
Yeah.
so
That's a criteria.
I jumped on that, and
He showed up, one of his crash cymbals looked like it had a bite taken out of it.
Yeah.
We're like, what happened there, man?
So you
hit him
sucked. But we're like, we should really work with this guy, because if he shows up with cymbals like that, it's gonna be fucking badass.
Yeah. So Loco Pony, which is just the CD, that we're going to be hearing some tracks off that people can. We'll tell people they can get a hold of their copy. I mean, it's really rocking, right? It's really heavy. So
Pretty raw, yeah.
yeah. So playing, that kind of music was like right off the bat. It's like, okay, I want to play in a really powerful rock and roll band. So what's the writing process? Do you still write? Because you come in here and you brought your acoustics, because that's kind of the environment. Sometimes we do electric, but when you're in your element, I know you guys like to turn it up.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Do that.
We're cavemen.
Yeah.
Pretty much whatever we do, we do it the simplest way possible. I feel like it's every other band writes songs this way, but one guy writes, has an idea, brings it in, and you just hammer it out.
Yeah.
And it depends on some songs more than others what you want, the songwriter wants, or sometimes it's not as much. Whoever brings a song in kind of has the top word.
Yep.
I feel like that's how it rolls,
And you trust the people
and you
with
just hammer
you.
it out.
You got good opinions, and it's like, especially.
And then we nitpick.
Yeah.
The longer it takes to record.
Then we'll get like, oh, that one fucking part. And it's just like, okay, we were doing it last night actually. I'm like, hey Vince, listen to this on the iPod. Like, listen to it. Do that, not do that. It's mostly pointing out shit that you do really well.
Yeah.
It's like, just fucking do that.
Yeah, and the stuff you do, you take for granted a lot of times. You need someone else to say, no, that's what you need to be doing.
Right.
All right, well, I'm going to get you to strap on the guitars. We're going to strap it on.
guitar?
No,
Okay.
yeah, none of that. We've been shut down twice already for that.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So gonna play some acoustic Flamingo Bay, and like I said, imagine this with fuzz pedals, but you guys rock it out in any format. And we're gonna hear something off of your new CD, Loco Pony. But right now, we're gonna hear something live off the floor at barbershoppodcast.com. This is
also on Loco Pony.
excellent.
It's called Honey Bucket, and I'm gonna sing it if that's all right.
That's quite all
Everything
right.
good to go? All right. Goes like this. Sunday morning, what to do? Sunday morning, and my good eye can't see through. And I can remember what I said to you. Sunday morning, what to do? Sunday morning, I turned a grayish shade of blue. And I could remember what I said to you. And I can remember what I said to you. But I hope you do. Sunday morning, honey girl, now where were you? You're sitting blues, you barely move, and now I'm in the bucket too. And I can remember what I said to you. No, I can remember what I said to you. But I hope you do. I hope you do. I hope you do. I hope you do. Sunday morning, what to do? Sunday morning, and my good eye can't see through. 1, 2, 3. And I can remember what I said to you. No, I can remember what I said to you. But I hope you do. I hope you do.
Yes, a little honey bucket.
Honey bucket.
Yeah.
Sweet honey bucket from Flamingo Bay, Hamilton, Ontario. We like good music. So some of the good music that you were listening to, obviously there's some heavy influences and music that's familiar but original at the same point in time. What were some of the bands that when you were playing together, what were some of your favorite songs to jam out?
Well, one guy we all agreed on right off the bat was Matt Mays.
Yeah.
We threw his name out there, and Vince was like, kind of got a little twinkle in his eye, and he's like, "You guys listen to him?"
I like that guy.
So we were able to just rock a couple of his tunes pretty easily. And Tom Petty was,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong with those kind of tunes.
Yeah.
As far as like heavier stuff, I guess Queens of the Stone Age is. I know Vince likes to drum like them, and he does it
Those
well.
are the bands like we mentioned, like right off the hop, like top of the head, kind of. We just met.
Yeah.
What do you got? And that was just kind of what we shot at each other
Yeah.
right away,
First
and
covers we
then
played was that.
it's just been growing ever since, kind of. So we're lost in music similarities now, I guess.
Do you have like a bunch of partial songs that you guys still have in your hip pockets carrying around that you're continuing to hammer away at? Or do you have big purges and sessions where you get them all out?
We,
I don't know.
We have some that we have played and kind of, put on the waiver wire for a bit, and whether or not they ever come back, who knows.
Yeah.
I got like personally some like stuff I could show, but we're looking to record again right away, so we kind of have the tune set up that we kind of have the tune set up that we're ready to record. So there's no point in just like throwing something, just mess them up, right?
No.
But as far as our own songs, like we've jammed out, we do have some that are kind of chilling still, and we're thinking about, but whether or not they come back in, we'll see.
Cool. So the process for you, like and then we touch on this pretty with every guest that comes in. It doesn't matter if they're here or they're there. You got to put so much more on your shoulders to say, okay, I'm responsible for not only doing this and showing up, playing, writing the songs, getting there, promoting myself, getting the gigs, finding out the place I go, making those connections with the other musicians and the people in the business.
Yeah.
How have you found that? Does everyone play to a strength, or is there just kind of like you
Look for individuals.
yeah,
in the band?
guys in the band singing like that's something that's got to get done, right?
Yeah, we honestly we don't think we're that. We only think we're really good at playing for now. We got a lot to work on, kind of thing. When it comes to like bringing a show, it takes a lot of work to have a good show, which we learned the hard way. But I don't know. Whatever idea you got, you
Give it your all.
You give it. You go for it.
You give it passion.
And we talk about the most thing we discuss really is just like getting people to a show. That's kind of what we put a lot of thought into, and it's tricky. We don't go. We try to get out to shows a lot, as much as we can, but sometimes it's like, fuck man, I got $20. I'm not going to a show tonight.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
And then everyone's
so
in that
you
boat.
think about that guy.
And there's 10 great shows a week.
Exactly. So you think about that guy, you try to accommodate to him, but
Yeah.
it's tricky,
Well, you know what? You did a great job. I mean, you did a great job of recording this CD.
Thanks.
And we'll talk after we come back. We'll talk about the process of recording it, and because we often, pretty well in every episode, refer to it as a birth.
Yeah.
It's like, how was the pregnancy? How was the delivery? Was it painful? Was it wonderful? Was it easy? But we're gonna play a tune called Seven. It's not the seventh track, but it's the first track. First track off the. And this is the song that kind of, blows the skin off your face if you're not ready for it. So do you think that this song is a fair representation of what the band's about?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, or your potential anyway.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with us.
Volume, anyways.
Yeah, volume and power.
Yep.
Great
We'll play a slow
words.
song, but it'll still be in your face like that.
There we go. Little Flamingo Bay 7 at barbershoppodcast.com.
You wanna get back, you wanna be another setback, picture you, 'cause I'm mine too. Find me kind of things in my spring. Oh, I think kills me dead to see what I need, what I need, what I need.
Boxo Studio, that's where it's happening. We've got Flamingo Bay in here at Barbershop Podcast, and we're playing a little something off of their current CD, Loco Pony. Tell me about Loco Pony. Tell me about this whole process.
We
You had
kind
a-
of just wondering what to do around last Christmas-ish time. We're kind of just lost a bit. We're kind of figuring out what to do, and we went and met up with Adam Bentley, who's a super connected guy around here. And we mentioned to him that we were thinking about doing some recording. We weren't sure what we wanted to do. We had a lot of songs, and he mentioned Porcelain Records because he was good buddies with Marconi. So we call him up and set up a meeting, and we get to the meeting, and he's like, him and Steve Biggest, the producer there, are just like, play some songs for us. And so like right away we just played him some songs, and he's like, okay, you guys need to do a record. Like, you sure, man? Like, we thought we'd do a couple songs. Like, he's like, no, we'll give you a good deal and just do a record. Just come in and make a record. And he kind of made it seem real simple like that. He's like, just come in and we'll do a
whole
record.
Yeah.
So we're like,
how many
well,
songs did you have done at this point?
I think we played for him like 15 songs on like a pre-pro kind of session, and he kind of picked and prodded, and we all had songs we didn't really like. So we narrowed it down to, I think, 12 going into the studio, and we used 9. One we had actually already recorded an EP the prior summer, and it didn't turn out as well, so we thought, well, whatever, we don't need to do it again. And then 2 were just kind of, we didn't play so well, so ended up at 9. Thought it was good to go.
Yeah, 9's a good number.
Solid.
You're getting there, and it's nice when you get something that is an EP. I mean, that's a solid thing, right?
Yeah.
And you'll look back at this when you're an old man, and you'll be really,
Yeah.
thankful that you did it, and you did it at that point in time in your life.
Right.
So the process itself, it was pretty slick. You're
It was totally learning process, 100% learning process. We went in there and, Steve, he convinced us to do an album, rightfully so. And then we got on board and we're like, let's do this, right? And then, I don't know. We were pumped, and there's regrets, and it's
there's a
just,
schedule, and there's it's game time, right?
yeah. So, yeah,
It was pretty loose.
it was loose, yeah.
Well, it's good. So we're gonna get you to play another live one for us. Is this one that was off of the CD as well?
No, this would be a new one,
This is
newer
a
one.
new one. So yeah, you got a new bag of songs,
There we go.
which is great because we love hearing stuff because it's got the passion on it.
Yeah.
And continue to write, continue to work,
Always.
and always coming up with good stuff. And here's a little bit more good stuff at barbershoppodcast.com.
You should take me for a ride. Let you break me through the night until you find that you're mine, that you're mine, that you might be mine. Lock the door now. Who are you? Let's give up now. In my room, we'll watch you move, watch you move, watch you move, watch you move day through. We'll light the mood with a dude just to prove that what else is new. but you could teach me a thing or two. Like how to groove, how to move through the mood, and you make me new. Like how to groove, there's your food, and you prove that what else is
And that one is called
Killer Flamingo Bay.
Killer Flamingo Bay. So let's talk about the name. Where'd you get Flamingo Bay from?
Do we just give it away?
Give it away.
Oh no, he's talking about the name of the band or the name of the song.
Yeah, no, the name of the band.
Oh.
Oh,
Should we tell them all the band names we've had?
sure, yeah.
Gary Reverb.
When we when we first started just playing together, when we were 17, 18, whatever, we would just go play in his cousin's garage or his basement or my parents' basement. And eventually he got a drum kit when he was like 19 or something. So we're getting his brother to drum with us. And his brother came up with our first band name. We didn't even sing yet. We had no microphones. We were called Dodger Blue.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
And then his brother went away and played hockey in college and blah, blah, blah. And gone went that drummer, and Gitch came in, and we didn't have a name. And then, who's next? Corey?
Yeah.
And we met up with this old friend I had named Corey, and he was a really good drummer. We just played some cover shows, and we were called Big Long Love Tap.
Yeah. Which is
Why that didn't make it, I don't know.
Yeah.
we were talking about it the other day actually. We're like, that's a good band name.
Big
That's a
Long
really
Love
good band name.
Tap.
Somebody should use that.
Yeah. My brother thought
But we
of that
had we
one.
were two names too. We were something else.
And Rock Cloud Escapade.
Rock Cloud Escapade.
Then we had a real band name. This is the name we were going to use. We were done. We were going for it. I still love it. Rock Cloud Escapade.
Yeah.
You just said that.
And yeah, I know. But I was
Yeah,
announcing
me
it
too.
properly.
That was an aside. Now
Yeah.
he's getting on with it.
And eventually Dylan got tired of that because no one would remember it.
No one
yeah,
remembers.
too
It's
long.
like you're like, what? I'm like, I don't know, man. Just come to our show. Shut up. So we noticed that nobody would remember the name.
It's
And I'm
true.
like-
These little things are true. You find
They
them
are,
out
and they
first.
they should annoy you. If you out there, you want to get heard, you want people to remember you.
Yeah.
They should, So
Should have been called Jim.
You're aiming too high, and then you realize that it's like, yeah, I can't. If I think it's funny, it's probably I'm aiming too high. I gotta think.
Maybe.
yeah. So then we had we came up with the word flamingo. I'm like, okay, if you can't remember that, you're a goof. So we were just kind of playing with that, and we knew we wanted it to be two words. And then I don't even remember. We just kind of
Sat there in the basement
sat there in
and
the
we're
basement,
just
just hammering out words.
saying words, going back and forth with words. Bay, and at that point, I was just like, okay,
Man,
I gotta
anything,
Go. I gotta go.
Yeah,
Gotta work
anything.
tomorrow.
It's like
Yeah.
some chick. It's like some chick trying to lose her virginity. When she's 24, and it's like, fuck it. I don't care how drunk this
Yeah.
guy is.
That's how
Yep.
it was. And it was just like, wow, that's the name we picked, eh? All right, let's give her.
And then
I love
then
it.
we realized the next day what we named our band, so we started writing heavy songs like Seven, so we would sound
Not like
what I mean?
Flamingo Bay.
Yeah, it's like our name would sound tough. We better sound
Yeah,
tough.
fuck with their minds, and I love it though because
Yeah.
it works for me, and I have when I told people you were on the show. There's a few people who goes, oh, I remember that. I've heard that.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah.
does have a mind hook, and that's something
Cool.
again you have to think about all the time. I'm gonna play another song off the CD. This one's called Twisted. You want to talk about the songwriting process behind it?
Yeah, that's what a one to pick actually. It was this crazy long Zeppelin-esque song.
It was just riffy,
And it was
choppy.
amazing. It was amazing. And then Steve Biggis got his hands on it and kind of picked out the real strong points. And we agreed. And we played it. And I don't know.
It's cool.
It's ripping. But it's crazy what you start with and what you finish with. It's
Yeah.
like, man, what people don't know when they listen to you.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
The studio process is something so
Yeah, it's a trip.
you have to be prepared for it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of neat what comes out of it.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of Flamingo Bay, something that's a bit twisted at barbershoppodcast.com.
thoughts running through my head. Sick of the drops that'll make you sad. Give me a broom now to sweep it up. Give me glue now to fix it up. Such a shame. Gravel brain come my way. Leaking through holes and becoming weak. Stir right up and shake it a beat. Moonlight blinds us within the night. You might find us, but that's your fight. Such a shame. Gravel brain come my way. Never true. Right at you. Come I do. We're twisted, but not alone. 'Cause you're my home. Don't fix it, I'd rather bleed. You're all I need. Such a shame. The gravel brain come my way. Fuck yourself. Never true. You're all I do.
And that's Twisted from Flamingo Bay at barbershoppodcast.com. Wednesday nights here in the Hammer. Be sure to join us. Tell the good people, Ryan Cannon, where they can join us. Where they can join us in our holy quest to bring awesome live music to everyone in the world.
They can join us at Podcast Barber on Twitter, Facebook.com/Barbershop Podcast, BarbershopPodcast.com, and watch live on Justin TV. Justin.tv/Barbershop Podcast.
And just put Barbershop Podcast in a Google search engine. You know, start discovering some of the many shows that are in there. There's great live talent. You get to learn a little bit about people, about the business, and you get to hear some great live original music.
They probably only have to hit B and then it just pops up, right?
Yeah, and we're almost at that point, you know, except for Beyonce. Like the two of us are like neck and neck at this point in time. What's our latest metrics say there, Ryan? Are we ahead of Beyonce?
We're behind Beyonce, but we are
and Bieber.
we're ahead of we're ahead of Bieber, but behind Beyonce. There you
He's
go.
been in a bit of a slide lately. No, I'm telling you, you come to Hamilton, Ontario, you get the real deal. Not a lot of frills, not a lot of fanciness, but people come here because of that, and the music is great because of that. Talking about the songwriting process, talking about going in the studio and recording Loco Pony. We've got Flamingo Bay, another great Hamilton band. You know, gigs being what they are, you know, playing live is how you get yourself out to the people for the most part. There's not huge opportunity to make yourself known to people other than continue to do the same thing over and over again. What are some of the things that you guys do to try to get yourself out in people's faces?
Well, last year for sure, we were in the mindset of let's play absolutely everywhere we can. And that's what we did. And we were booking gigs that we were supposed to properly set up as shows and not really knowing that, not getting that. So some of them were brutal.
Yeah.
But we were just playing absolutely anywhere we could, getting cover gigs, original gigs, it didn't matter. And it kind of in 2014, we've been picking our spots a little bit more and just trying to set up and promote properly and make them all worthwhile.
Yeah, you get so busy doing the music, especially the way you guys were like, oh, we're just jamming, coming, and then all of a sudden it's turned into this thing, and now it's got a life of its own. To sit back and go, wow, we have to package ourselves. We have to say in a little blurb what we are. Yeah. So people with their 2-second attention span, and it's probably a question you have never even asked yourself, right? So I'm asking you now, right? I got like 5 seconds. What's your band?
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I'll use the rest of the 5 seconds as just blank space.
Yeah, rock and roll, like I always say, you file it under rock and roll, file this under rock and roll, because that's a big umbrella, but it's got a lot of different flavors. And then when you hear
Well, now it does.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, we still love the old school shit, and
Yeah.
all those old school bands didn't explain themselves either. They just said
Yeah.
rock and roll. I don't know.
I like to call it Northern Swamp Rock.
Northern swamp.
yeah, I like
Because
that.
it's kind of swampy, but it's northerny too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these things are you constantly have to come up with it because it brings them to that next little step to click on and maybe listen to it. Or hear it.
for sure.
It
But
sounds cool.
Yeah, it does. It does. Northern Swamp Rock. You like that, Ryan? I like it. I think that's top shelf. If Northern Swamp Rock, because I'm gonna use that in my write up, right?
For sure. Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
Nicely done. See, this is getting someone else to help you do your job. This is what it's all part. And that's part of the community too, right? It's like, I guess when you guys started out, it was the two of you and then the three of you, and you're doing this.
Yeah.
But now that you're doing it, I imagine you've bumped into a number of other musicians and people where it's like, man, those are great people. And,
Oh, yeah.
And I met so many people through that person. Is there a band or someone that you've met in the last year and a half that you're like, man, I dig these guys. If you see them in town, this is someone you should check out?
Yeah. Actually,
bands.
this one band, these a couple guys, we got to play our last big show. We called it Mega Show at This Ain't Hollywood. And they played first that night. They're called the Alabama Clam Hash. 2-piece, bass and drums. And they just jam, like they heavy jams, and like you won't hear them on the radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're not up.
You got to go to a live music venue and see someone like
Yeah.
Alabama Clam Hash.
Absolutely.
Right.
They do some cool stuff, and that was one of their first gigs, so they're really brand new to the scene.
Yeah.
Most people probably don't know them.
That energy's great too, and someone's coming right off.
Yeah, but it's a pretty wicked 2-piece thing they got going on there. We'll be playing with them again eventually. I don't know, I can't give you a date right now, but we'll bring them out to a show for sure again.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Vince? Is there someone in town that you're like?
Those guys for sure.
Yeah.
I really liked them when they played with us. Yeah, we've played with a few. Laura Cole played that night, and she's excellent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who else did we play with? Was good. Zillies are a great band. Obviously,
Zillies are a great
I think a
band,
lot of people know them. They're a tight band and really cool guys too. Yeah, I mean it's a good music community we have there. So
Yeah.
I mean, you get to play with some really awesome bands, meet some good people too. So
You keep your mind open and your eyes open, and you're like, boom, you meet the right
Yeah,
people.
you see him, then you're like, shit, and you feel like you got to start over again.
Sometimes, but they're probably thinking the same thing, right?
Yeah.
We shit on ourselves way too much, you
Yeah.
know. And the other bands I've seen are so great. They're still racked with that same doubt, and you're just like, you can't believe it. You know?
Yeah.
But it's true. You know, it's like all of us are. That's one of the reasons having a musical
You just
community.
kind of got to know what you do, and then just go do it, and just say what else do you want from me. This is what I do. No one plays this song better than me, because I made it up.
Yep.
Cool.
And they haven't tried it yet. And then it's over.
but that's our motto.
Yeah.
Ryan Cannon, are we up for a live tune, or are we up for a
We're
pre-recorded?
up for anything you want.
No.
We doing?
Do the
I
live
don't have
tune.
the itinerary.
I know, I do.
You do.
I've lost my place. It's been one of those magical nights.
They look like they're ready to play.
You'll play. I think we're gonna play live, aren't we? Yeah.
Which one?
Should I play live?
Which one?
Blues?
Sure.
All right.
Gotta going as I'm up and running in my seat. Got it in me, why don't you get up in me and take out a toll of my blues? If you need me, won't buy you. Come to see me and you got me a tone. 'Cause what am I doing with you? Might do me too. 'Cause what am I doing with you? Might do me too. Want it in me, won't buy me. Got it in me as you told me to come and don't be. Not in me, won't mind you. Thought it in me and I got me to call. 'Cause what am I doing with you? Might do me too. 'Cause what am I doing with you? Might do me too. 'Cause what am I doing with you? Might do me.
BarbershopPodcast.com. We've got Flamingo Bay in here. Good, hard-working Hamilton band. If you want to see some live music, go check out our friends at View Magazine. They got a great events calendar section there. They'll tell you each and every day which clubs are supporting live music and where to go. Be active on social media. Look up the Hamilton music scene, barbershoppodcast.com. Of course, each and every week, look into our archives there. There's 384 episodes on, and you'll find some great talent from far and wide. Any plans for the immediate future? You said you got a recording schedule. That
Yeah,
you're
recording
working
ASAP.
something up. Yeah.
Play next Saturday at the Corktown.
Next Saturday at the Corktown.
Yeah.
And where were you playing with there?
Radio Free Universe.
Love those guys. Friends of the show.
They're in the main event. And Dead City Soul Review.
Okay.
He's
I've
also
heard
on
good
bill.
things about them.
Yeah, it's a good band.
Yeah, we played with them at one of the HMA shows last year, and they're pretty cool.
So that's Saturday night at the Corktown Tavern.
Saturday, July 5th. Not
Saturday.
this Saturday. You can go to Corktown
Oh,
this
so
Saturday
you
if you
can
want
each
to.
and every Saturday.
But don't burn yourself out of the
No.
Corktown, because you got to go next Saturday for sure.
Next Saturday for sure.
It'll be fun. We haven't played in Hamilton since a couple months anyway,
Yeah.
so should be.
Can't
should be a
spread
good time.
yourself too thin. That's the thing, right? You got to pick your moments. You play too much.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
there's some guys who can get away with it. I don't know how they do it, but they do. They
Yeah.
play the shit and they still get the gigs, and it's
Yeah.
like that's good on them. But it's you don't want to be eating your young around here. Of
Yeah.
course, you want to pick your moments. It sounds like a hell of a good show. So that's Saturday, July 5th at Corktown Tavern, 175 Young Street in Hamilton, Ontario.
So it makes a pretty good weekend with Exile on King Street. a
Exile
couple
on
days
King
before
Street.
that.
That's
Yeah.
right. At 306 King Street West in Hamilton, Ontario. The Casbah got a huge show going on there. Gonna do Exile on Main Street in its entirety. Got our good friends at Monarch Project gonna open the show for us at 9 o'clock, and then gonna do that great 1972 double album by the Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street. I'm gonna have an all-star band. No expense spared. I mean, as far as I mean by that, the very best of the musicians and a roster of singers, second to none. Great show at the Casbah, and we'll be doing a show on Wednesday the 2nd. I think, Ryan, won't we? We'll be doing a full prep show on that one, so you'll want to be tuning in next week, learn all about the big rock show. So that is a good weekend. Started off. Don't worry about blowing your wad on Canada Day. Some people just keep trucking on. Go Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Or even take the Friday off. We don't care between the two of us.
It'll take a whole week.
Cool. So El Gal is a song we're going to play off.
El Gallo.
El Gallo. Tell me about that.
Means the rooster.
The
We used to
rooster.
call it the rooster, and we thought we were like the coolest band in the world if we just changed it to Spanish. So we did.
Gave high fives all around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're like,
Tugged our
take
beers.
that one. Huh? Yeah.
And
It's
kind of a folky tune.
folk-ish.
Rocky folky.
Rocky folky tune.
Yeah, you know Rocky folky?
I know that guy.
You
And
know.
he's got a good groove, just like this song does. Well, a little bit more off of Local Pony from Flamingo Bay here at BarbershopPodcast.com.
Rather praise the Lord than think of you. You know what? Now fuck you too. Might not be enough, but it might do. Cannot see what I've come to. That don't mean a thing. All those thoughts just feel pain. And that kind of abuse, well, it might come right back to you.
I got some Flamingo Bay going here at barbershoppodcast.com, playing for us live, and a little something off of Loco Pony, their latest CD. Where can people get a hold of this fine gem?
Our place.
Their place, yeah, and they'll be delivered if you have orders of 3 or more. If you can get your neighbors involved, in delivery, because that's the way it works when you're an independent, right?
A couple copies of Dr. Disc,
Yeah,
iTunes. It's on iTunes.
iTunes, our Bandcamp.
yeah.
Shows, definitely at the shows.
Yeah.
We're usually pretty gracious at the shows. We're just like, by the end of it, we're like, take them.
The start of the night. The start of the night.
I don't want to keep moving them back and forth because, and again, this is another thing we talk about is format, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to print some CDs, because although I'd like to put some on a memory stick and maybe have a download card and all this other stuff sounds good, to have a tactile product that people could look at and feel, as long as they're still players, it's kind of important to run
You need something.
do a run of CDs,
Something.
right?
Thing is, like, we thought about vinyl maybe, but to be honest, like, most of the people that I know personally don't actually have vinyl record players. I know a lot of people do nowadays, but
We love CDs, man. We have a massive collection of CDs. We think they're the best. So, fucking print them.
Yeah, and it's still economical, as far as looking at it. I mean, vinyl's getting cheaper, and as I said, it's all vanity publishing, right? As long as you don't have a record deal, you're doing it yourself. You're your own record company.
And to be honest, you could probably get away with just doing a short run of CDs, and if you can find a short run of vinyls, and then people can kind of have their pick. It's not like it's, a lot of people are just going to download it anyways. The fact that it's on iTunes and on Bandcamp and people can just pop out their phones and just done. Sorry, man, I'm not going to buy that right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's a whole other learning process too. Is how do you get your music out there? Because I've got things out that have been on, CD Baby for a couple of years, and I haven't made the $50 yet. To get your first check. And it's like, okay, so doing this and doing this and doing this is all part of what you have to do, but. Building, the buzz about the record, they say there's a lot of stuff out there. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff out there. So you build your fan base, right? The people who like what you do, and, you guys are unpretentious, and you play from the heart, and you rock out, and that's definitely always going to win you fans. I think there's always going to be a market for rock and roll. But we're starting to hit the youth over the head these days. They're saying, "Hey, man, this is you've been fed crap. You've been fed McDonald's your whole life, and you've been fed this kind of music." And there's, in Hamilton, Music Town, there's 60 places where there's music happening. A lot of them aren't music places. They're just places where musicians are playing in the corner. And we got to preserve and protect those clubs that feature music.
Totally.
So go to your live music club. Go to the places that do that on a weekly basis. Well, do you have one last one to play for us, or are we blowing our?
I must say I'm a little disappointed when I heard I was coming on the barbershop. I thought I was going to be with like a WWF ring over there and Brutus the Barber Beefcake
going to shorn you, going to do the whole route.
But then I was scared that this guy would super kick me, toss me through the window, and go on to be Shawn Michaels, the champ, and I'm stuck being Marty Jannetty, the Jannetty.
Yeah.
So
we love dropping the WWE names.
I had to throw it in there. It's the first thing I thought of.
I'm falling in love with the Ring of Honor now and all the smaller wrestling. We used to call it two-row wrestling back when WWF was just getting going, and then they would have this other where we call it two-row because it was shot in a warehouse or somewhere, and there was like 3 rows of people.
We went to a Ring of Honor show. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's going leaps and bounds and getting better. And I just like a musician or a studio or someone who starts out. It's like, that's today, but look at tomorrow. Look at
support the indies.
Yeah, support the indies. Let it grow. Ring of Honor. That's your wrestling league of choice.
Nope. We're doing another one off Serpentine, off Local Pony, called Serpentine, and we have a music video for this on YouTube. And
we'll be posting that link, so you'll be able to see the cool music video that goes with this song, Serpentine.
We had a huge budget for it. It was a lot of fun.
Huge.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Who's the one at the side of the road? Too many keys and no keyhole. Catch your breath, give me one last take. Now you're thinking. Serpentine, you found me roaming the town. Flip with me, then baby, you down. Step aside, 'cause there's somewhere to be. Catch a ride if you're hoping to see. Trains are running, so follow the steam. It's a steaming wild night. Sipping tea and you found me roaming the town. Flirt with me, then baby, I'll let you down. Sipping tea and you found me roaming the town. Put with me, then baby, I'll let you down. Sipping tea and I've seen you too many times. Take a seat, 'cause I'm leaving you far behind.
Flamingo Bay giving it to us acoustically. As not
Acoustic
their
styles.
nature. You know, I know you do a good job bringing it in here, and it's the embodiment of the song that you can pick it up and play it kitchen party style. It's kudos to you guys to be able to do that. Not everyone can. But you're going to be in your element on the 5th. The
Absolutely,
Corktown
right.
with a couple other great bands. Come and check them out. Get yourself a copy of their CD, Local Pony. You can get it at that particular show if you would like, or you can get it off of their Bandcamp site. And we're going to have all the links on our barbershoppodcast.com webpage. Be sure to follow us on YouTube. It's a great page. If you follow us on YouTube, it's got all the other links there for our website, our Twitter account, our Google Plus account. I don't know if anyone still uses Google Plus, but
I don't.
we
Absolutely do not use Google Plus.
at no point.
Google
We will be the last one standing on Google Plus. But Barbershop Podcast has been honored to bring you the music of Flamingo Bay. Thanks for having you guys in
Thanks,
the studio.
man. Thanks
It's
so
been
much for
great.
having us.
Yeah, you know, and come and
We're gonna cover this song.
yeah, do it. King of Rock and Roll. I'll teach it to you. It's a
Right.
great song.
All right, Kevin.
Take
thank you very
care,
much, man.
everyone.
It's Kevin's World.
Kevin's World. To keep trying. Can't you see what kind of sheep I